All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to be exploring just one source.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's this motivational video, features Denzel Washington. It's all about, the power of silence. Like, is silence, really a secret weapon? Like, can it help you be successful?
Huh.
Yeah. So let's dig into this and see, what kind of insights we can get.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how this video really sort of challenges the way most people think about silence, right?
Yeah.
Like usually it's seen as passive,
Yeah.
or like weak.
Right.
But Denzel's saying it's actually like a source of strength,
Mm.
like a key to success.
It's true. It's so true. Like we feel like we always got to be talking, always proving ourselves. Like we got to be the center of
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
But Denzel, he uses all these powerful images to kind of flip that around.
Oh, totally. Like one example he uses is the ocean, right? So the surface, it's all like crazy and chaotic,
Right.
but deep down, it's calm, still,
Mm.
immensely powerful.
Wow.
Yeah. The video's saying like real strength, it's not in all that noise, it's in like the silence.
That's so interesting. It's like how many times do we just like react,
Yeah.
without thinking?
Mhm.
Is that where mastering silence comes in?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the video really focuses on that, right?
Uh-huh.
Mastering silence, that's how you master yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's about, quieting down
Mm-hmm.
so you can get control of your emotions, how you react to things.
Wow.
Those quiet moments, when there's no distractions, that's when you connect with yourself.
So it's like instead of getting like swept away by everything that's going on,
Yeah.
you become like the eye of the storm.
Exactly. You choose how to respond, not just react. And that's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
But it goes even further, right? Denzel says silence can actually make you like unpredictable,
Whoa, really?
even dangerous.
Okay, now that's interesting. How can being silent be dangerous?
He compares it to like those really skilled warriors,
Yeah.
they don't go showing off all their moves.
Right.
They're calm, watching.
Yeah.
And then, bam, they strike when you least expect it.
Mm.
Keeping people guessing, that can be a huge advantage.
So silence is like strategic, right? Like
Yeah.
you choose when to talk, when to just, shut up and listen.
Yeah, totally.
It's like playing poker, Silence is like your best card.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
You got to be mysterious. Don't show all your cards at once.
Yeah.
That way you can, watch what's happening, figure out your next move
Yeah.
without giving anything away.
So how do we like actually get good at this? Is it just about not talking?
Mm.
Or is there like more to it?
Well, that's where the preparation comes in, right? This video, it really stresses that like true success, it's built in the quiet,
Okay.
not out there, where everyone can see you.
Right.
Think about it like a tree. It grows silently,
Yeah.
roots getting deeper and stronger underground.
Yeah.
Or an athlete training, getting better, but no one's watching.
So it's about doing the work,
Mm.
putting in the time, even if no one's like giving you a pat on the back for it.
Yeah. It's about trusting the process.
Trusting the process. Yeah.
Knowing that, everything happens when it's supposed to. And that, like, if you're prepared, you'll be ready when your chance comes.
This is making me think about like self-mastery again. Instead of always needing everyone to tell you you're doing great,
Right.
you just like know it because you put in the work.
That's a great point. It all ties into this idea of embracing the natural, rhythm of growth.
Embracing
The rhythm, the flow, like the video uses these really great images, right?
Yeah.
A river flowing to the ocean, the sun rising. It's all about how, life has a natural flow to it. There's a time for everything.
So sometimes the best thing to do is just like chill out and let things happen.
Yeah, kind of. Trust the process.
Yeah.
Focus on your own growth. Get ready for what's next.
So instead of like always pushing and trying to force things, we should focus on like becoming the kind of person who's ready when, when good things come our way.
Exactly. And that makes me wonder, right? What are you working on right now in silence? Something that, like, one day it'll just, speak for itself.
That is a really good question. I think we all have those things, like passions, dreams that we're like working on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This video is really making me want to make more time for that,
Hmm.
for that quiet growth, that silent prep.
Yeah. And that leads us to one of the, I think the coolest parts of this video, right? It's about shifting your energy to shape your reality.
Okay, this is where it gets like really deep.
Right. It goes beyond just like not talking.
Uh,
It gets into the power of, like, our inner world.
all right, I'm listening. What's it all about?
It's saying, like, what you think, what you believe in, even the energy you give off, it all affects what happens to you.
So, like, if you're always negative, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. But if you're positive, grateful, believe in yourself, good things will happen.
Oh, I see, I see.
It's about, making your insides match the outside you want. And that's where silence comes in.
Oh, okay.
It's a tool for, like, changing yourself.
Because when you're quiet, you can actually, like, see your thoughts and change them.
Exactly. You connect with your, like, inner power, choose what kind of energy you want to put out there, and ultimately shape the life you want to live.
Wow, okay. I'm getting it now. It's not just about shutting up.
Right.
It's about, like, building yourself up from the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becoming aware of yourself,
Yeah.
understanding how much power you really have.
This is, like, blurring my mind. It's giving me a lot to think about. What are some, like, practical things people can do, to get this kind of silence in their lives?
Ooh, that's a great question. And that is the perfect way to jump into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, okay, I'm ready.
We're going to explore some of the actual techniques and practices, stuff you can actually do to harness this transformative power of silence.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about, how powerful silence can be. Like,
Mm.
it can make you stronger, help you figure yourself out, even, like, change your reality. But, like, how do we actually make that happen? What can people, like, do every day to get those benefits?
That's a great question. And the cool thing is, this video, it actually gives us some, like, practical advice on that.
Mhm.
One of the things he talks about is mindfulness.
Mindfulness, yeah. I've heard that word a lot, but honestly, I'm not sure I really get it.
Yeah, it can be kind of confusing. Basically, it's about, like, paying attention to right now, like what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you're sensing,
Yeah.
but without, like, judging it, just noticing.
Okay, I think I get that. But how does that connect to silence?
So when you do mindfulness, you're actually creating a space of silence inside yourself.
Hmm.
It's like all that mental chatter, all those thoughts running around. Mindfulness helps you step back from that.
So it's like hitting the mute button on your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you can see things more clearly. You can make better choices about how you react to stuff.
So instead of just, like, freaking out when things get crazy,
Yeah,
you can, like, take a breath, find that quiet inside, and then choose how you want to handle it.
exactly. And the video also talks about how important it is to, like, really observe stuff, not just inside yourself, but, like, the world around you too.
So what would that look like in real life?
It could be something super simple, like just sitting for a few minutes, being quiet and looking around, noticing the colors, the sounds, what you can feel, but without putting labels on it, just
Yeah.
experiencing it.
So it's like really paying attention to the details.
Yeah. And when you do that, you start to see patterns, you know, in how you act, how you treat other people, what makes you feel certain ways.
That's got to be so helpful for, like, growing as a person, right? Like, once you know what you're doing, you can start to change it.
Totally. And that brings us to another practice Denzel talks about, getting still, like physically still.
Okay, now that's interesting. We talked about quieting our minds, but what about our bodies?
Yeah. So a lot of times our minds and bodies, they're like constantly going, going, going. We're always rushing, doing a million things at once, and we never just stop.
Oh my gosh, that's so me. I'm always on the move, always thinking about the next thing on my to-do list.
Right. A lot of us are like that. But Dendel's saying that being still, it's like essential for recharging, for finding peace inside.
Yeah.
He talks about things like yoga, Tai Chi, even just laying down for a few minutes and not doing anything.
I can see how that would help you feel more, like, centered and calm. It's like giving your body permission to just chill out for a bit.
Exactly. And the video says that when your body is relaxed, your mind can relax too. It can help you think more clearly.
Makes sense. It's like creating a more peaceful place inside yourself, so your mind and body can work together.
Exactly. And speaking of creating a peaceful place, Denzel also talks about making space for silence in your, like, actual surroundings.
Oh, I love that. It's not just about what's going on inside, but also about the space you're in.
Right. It could be something as simple as, like, finding a quiet corner in your house.
Mhm.
A place where you can go for a few minutes every day and just be alone with your thoughts.
Or maybe, like, turn off your phone for a while, like
Yeah.
taking a break from all the notifications and stuff.
Yeah. Or maybe cutting down on screen time. Or even, like, unplugging from technology completely for a little bit each day.
That's so important, especially now when we're always connected, always getting bombarded with information. We need to create those quiet zones, those spaces where we can just be ourselves and breathe.
Absolutely. And, when you create that quiet outside, you might find that it gets quieter inside too, like it all
Hmm.
works together.
So it's like a two-way street. You make it quiet outside, and it helps you find that quiet inside.
Exactly. It's all connected. It's about making silence a part of your whole life so it can give you strength, clarity, and peace.
As you're talking, it reminds me of this time I was feeling super stressed. I was just like overwhelmed with everything. I went for a walk in the woods and like just being in nature, listening to the birds, it just calmed me down.
That's a great example of how nature can be like a source of silence.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to get away from the busyness and connect with something bigger than yourself.
It's like nature shows us how to be silent. It reminds us that peace and quiet, they're like a natural part of life.
And that brings up another really cool point Denzel makes. Silence, it's not just about like the lack of noise. It's about the presence of something deeper, something more meaningful.
Okay, tell me more. What is it that silence helps us find?
He says that in silence, we can connect with our intuition. That inner voice that tells you who you really are and what you're supposed to be doing.
It's like when all the outside noise quiets down, you can finally hear that voice inside.
Yeah. And that voice, it can guide you, you know. It can help you find your purpose, your passions, the real you.
So silence is like a journey of self-discovery. It helps you find that part of you that knows what's up.
Exactly. And connecting with that part of yourself, that can be really powerful. It gives you the strength to go after your dreams, to face challenges, to live a life that's true to who you are.
Wow, this whole conversation is making me see silence in a totally different way. It's not passive, it's like this active force. It can change everything.
Exactly. And it's important to remember, like, getting good at silence, it's a journey. It's not going to be easy all the time. There'll be times when you fall back into old habits.
That makes me feel better. I was starting to think I had to, like, become a monk or something to do this.
No, no, no. Just be patient with yourself. Enjoy the process. And celebrate the small wins. Even just a few minutes of quiet each day can make a big difference.
I like that. It's about making silence a part of your life, not trying to be perfectly silent all the time.
Exactly. And, as you practice, it'll get easier. Silence will become more and more a part of who you are.
I'm curious, do you have any, like, things you do, rituals or practices that help you find silence in your own life?
Yeah, one thing that really helps me is journaling. Like every morning, I sit down, quiet, and I write about my thoughts and feelings. It helps me process stuff, get clear on things, and set my intentions for the day.
That's such a good idea. It's like having a conversation with yourself, right? A time for reflection and figuring things out.
Exactly. And anyone can do it. You don't need any special tools or training. Just a pen and paper and a few minutes of quiet.
I'm definitely going to try that. This whole conversation has really changed the way I think about silence.
I'm so glad to hear that. It really is transformative. It can unlock so much potential inside you.
And speaking of potential, the video also talks about silence as a key to success. Can you talk about that a bit more?
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. It might sound kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like we live in a world where everyone's got to be loud and promote themselves all the time.
Right. It's like the louder you are, the more successful you are.
Exactly. But Denzel is saying that real success, it often happens in those quiet moments, like the behind-the-scenes work, the dedication, the perseverance, the stuff you do when no one's watching.
So it's about focusing on the journey, not just the destination, like trusting that if you put in the work, success will come naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And being silent, being away from all the distractions and comparisons, it allows you to connect with your creativity, your intuition, your full potential.
And it makes you less predictable, right? Like we were talking about before, that quiet confidence can be really powerful.
Totally. When you're not always trying to prove yourself or get approval, you can move through the world with this, like, quiet strength that people are drawn to.
So it's not about being silent all the time. It's about knowing when to talk and when to listen, when to observe, and when to act.
Exactly. It's about using silence strategically, to master yourself, to get clear on your goals, to build strength, and ultimately to achieve what you want in life.
I'm seeing now how all these things connect, self-mastery, being unpredictable, preparation, trusting the process. It's all tied together by silence.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a tapestry.
Yeah.
And we can all create our own version of it.
I'm feeling so inspired. What would you say is the most important thing you learned from this video?
That's a tough one. But for me, it's the idea that silence is a path to self-discovery. It's in those quiet moments when you step away from all the noise and distractions that you can really connect with who you are, what you love, and what you're meant to do. And that connection, It's the foundation for everything else. Success, happiness, a life that feels truly fulfilling.
So well said. And that leads us to the last thing Denzel says in the video, something I think will really hit home for our listeners.
Oh, what's that?
So he asks, like, if the world is really just a reflection of, the energy we have inside, what can we do, like, right now, today, to make those two things, like, match up better?
Oh man, that's a big question, right? It's like he's saying we got to take responsibility for what we're creating. Like not just the stuff we do on purpose, but like the stuff we do without even realizing it.
I know, right? It's deep. And it goes right back to what we were talking about with silence. Like when you get quiet, when you look inside, that's when you can really see your thoughts and beliefs and like the energy you're putting out there.
Totally. And once you see that, you can start changing things,
Yes.
You can choose to think more positively, be more grateful, focus on what you're good at instead of like dwelling on the bad stuff.
It's like imagine you've got a blank canvas and some paint. Silence is that moment when you step back, look at the canvas, and decide what you want to create. Then you start painting, but you're doing it on purpose.
That is such a great way to put it. You're not just letting things happen. You're like the artist of your own life.
Okay, so thinking about that, I realized like I spend way too much time thinking about what I don't have, or the things I haven't done yet. What if instead I focused on all the good stuff I already have, like celebrated my wins and really believed in myself?
Wow, yeah. That would be a huge shift. And I bet it would bring even more good things your way. More happiness, more chances to grow.
So for our listeners, what are some like baby steps they can take to start making those changes to get their insides and outsides on the same page?
Well, one thing that's easy to do, but super powerful, is gratitude journaling. Like every day, just write down 3 things you're thankful for. It could be anything,
Yeah.
a sunny day, a good meal, someone being nice to you.
It's like you're training your brain to look for the good stuff, to appreciate what you've already got.
Yeah. And another really cool practice is visualization. Taking some time each day to imagine yourself living the life you want. See yourself hitting your goals, feeling happy, surrounded by people you love.
Oh, I love that. It's like creating a map, a vision board for your future.
And as you're picturing it, feel the feelings that go with it. The
Okay.
joy, the gratitude, that sense of accomplishment.
So it's not just about seeing it, it's about feeling it too.
Exactly. The more you can really feel those good vibes, the more you'll attract those experiences into your life.
This whole conversation has been so eye-opening. Like, we're not just stuck with whatever life throws at us. We actually have choices.
We do. We can choose what we think, what we believe, and the energy we share with the world.
And silence helps us do that, right?
Absolutely. It gives us the space to connect with our inner wisdom, our gut feelings, and our true potential.
It's like silence gives us the tools to build the life we want.
Yeah, I like that. And I think that's a great place to wrap up our deep dive. Exploring the power of silence has shown us how much potential we all have.
It really has. And it leaves me feeling hopeful, like anything is possible. Like, we have the power to create the life we want.
And that, my friend, is the magic of silence.